Have a look at this printer. What is its function? A blank sheet is inserted into the input slot and a printed sheet comes out as the output. Now let's understand the concept of a function. A function is a relationship between any two sets of numbers. Let A and B be two non-empty sets. Then, a function f from set A to set B is defined as a method that relates the elements of set A to the elements of set B such that all the elements of set A are related to the elements of set B. An element of set A is related to a unique element in set B. It is denoted as shown, where B is called the image of A under F and A is called the pre-image of B under F. Points to remember. All functions are relations, but the vice versa is not true. We may think of this as a mapping. A function maps a number in one set to a number in another set. A function maps values to one and only one value. That is, for every input, there is one and only one output. Two values in one set could map to one value, but one value must never map to two values. That would be a relation, not a function. Have a look at the example. A function is defined as f(x) is equal to x squared. Then the mapping is done as shown. This function f maps numbers to their squares. Let us now define the domain, range, and codomain of a function. Let f from A to B be a function from set A to set B. Then the set A is known as domain of f. The set B is known as the codomain of f. The set of all the f images of the elements of A is known as the range of f. Look at this example that we discussed earlier. By looking at the mapping, we conclude that the domain is equal to the set A and the codomain as well as the range is equal to the set B. Real valued function. A function which has either R, the set of real numbers, or one of its subsets as its range is called a real valued function. Real function. A function which has either R, the set of real numbers, or one of its subsets as both its domain and range is called a real function. Subatomic particles. Atoms are the building blocks of elements. They are the smallest part of an element that chemically reacts. The first atomic theory proposed by John Dalton in 1808 regarded atom as the ultimate indivisible particle of matter. Towards the end of the 19th century, it was proved experimentally that atoms are divisible and consist of three fundamental particles: electrons, protons, and neutrons. Let us discuss the discovery and properties of these particles in detail. A position vector represents the position of a particle with respect to any other point. For example, a bus moved a distance of 10 kilometers from a bus stop. So the position vector of the bus with respect to the bus stop is 10 kilometers. A displacement vector represents the shortest distance of the particle between 2 points. For example, a boy walks from home to school. He has 2 paths to reach school. One day, he followed the path as house to market, then to school. distance travelled is 4 plus 3 is equal to 7 meters. Other day he followed another path as house to school. The distance travelled is 5 meters. Out of the two, this is the shortest distance, so it is called as displacement.
Algae are chlorophyll-bearing, simple, thalloid, and autotrophic organisms. They are largely aquatic, both fresh and marine, but are found in a variety of habitats, like moist stones, soils, and wood. They also occur on lichen association with fungi, animals like on sloth bear. Reproduction in algae. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. In this case, each fragment develops into a new thallus. Asexual reproduction by flagellate zoospores give rise to new plants. Sexual reproduction takes place by fusion of two gametes. Economic value of algae. They are important as half of the carbon dioxide fixed on Earth is from algae through the process of photosynthesis, and these are primary producers in all aquatic food chains. 70% of them are edible, yield algin and carrageen, hydrocolloids, water-holding substances, produced commercially by brown and red algae respectively. Spirulina, a food supplement used by malnourished patients and space travelers. Chlorophyceae, green algae. The characteristic features are unicellular, colonial or filamentous body. Presence of chlorophyll A and B as a pigment material for the process of photosynthesis. Presence of pyrenoids for the storage of food material like protein and starch. Sometimes storage of food in the form of oil droplets in some algae. Presence of rigid cell wall made up of the inner layer of cellulose and outer layer of pectose. Reproduction by various means like vegetative, asexual and sexual. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction by flagellated zoospores produced in zoosporangia. Sexual reproduction, isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Examples: Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra, Chara, etc. Phaeophyceae, brown algae. The characteristic features are
marine habitat simple branched, ectocarpus.
Filamentous to profusely branched, reaching up to 100 meters in height, kelp. Plant body has stalk as stipe. Leaves are like fronds and hold fast to hold the body to the substratum. Presence of chlorophyll A, C, fucoxanthin, carotenoids and xanthophylls as pigment materials which gives various colors from olive green to brown. Storage of food material in the form of laminarin and mannitol. Cellulosic cell wall covered by a gelatinous coating of algin. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction by pear-shaped biflagellate zoospores with two unequal laterally attached flagella. Sexual reproduction, isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Pyriform or pear-shaped gametes bearing two laterally attached flagella. Examples: ectocarpus, ducteota, laminaria, sargassum, and fucus, etc. Rhodophyceae, red algae. The characteristic features are marine habitat, multicellular thalli with complex body organization. Pigments are phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, chlorophyll A and D. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction by non-motile spore. Sexual reproduction, oogamous type of sexual reproduction, takes place by non-motile gametes and accompanied by complex post-fertilization developments. Examples: Polysiphonia, Gracilaria, Galladium, etc.